fell well short of the overs yesterday that they should have batted. Oh, there's an appeal, but not any positive response from the umpire at the far end.
So only the bowler went up. The rest of the fielders were not interesting.
So there's a slip, there's a gully, there's a backward point, extra cover mid-off. In the air and out. So
Misery continues.
Rodney continues to fail here. Another duck for Rodney. And I'm sure he would like to forget Warner Park as quickly as possible. There's not been a good hunting ground for him in consecutive matches, picking up consecutive ducks.
But I think he'll be asking for a taxi to take him to more misery. He must be a miserable man at this moment. Not yesterday, not today. Not contributing anything to the scoreboard.
So it's now 6 for 1. And not a very good start for Montserrat, but on the other side of the spectrum, a very good start for Anguilla, who won the toss and elected to insert the Montserrat team. Today, of course, being Sunday. And we expect a few spectators after church to slip in to Warner Park. The batsman is now Stevel Rodney. In fact, to it, Rodney is the one who was dismissed for no score from 11 deliveries. And a strike rate of 0, of course. And Sean Truitt is out there now to partner Grant. It was the last delivery of that over. And so
let's see if Landiford will go back to his
to dismiss Rodney by Boyne, Masimba Boyne at mid-off. In fact, mid-on for the left-hander. Other matches playing today. St. Kitts comes up against St. Martin at the St. Paul's Sporting Complex. And Antigua and Barbuda taking on Nevis at the Connery. This one is outside the off stump. So you have a situation there, Al, where at Connery, someone is going to lose for the first time today. And here at Water Park, someone is going to
duck for the second time. He's laying up more misery, I'm sure.
Landiford outside the off stump and moving further away. No shot offered by Joshua Grant. Joshua Grant is a good player. One who has represented the Leeward Islands before. So he is probably one of the leading batsmen in the Montserrat team. I would have seen him here earlier this year in the Cool and Smooth tournament. Landiford also would have participated in the 2 editions of the Cool and Smooth tournament. So we would have seen Landiford here at Warner Park previously. Shortish delivery pushed into the gully region. And Hamilton always buzzing, always moving around, always lively, you know. And very much a character.
Yes, I was saying he's the one man, he's the only person out there chopping at the bowlers, urging them on. One man clapping, it will be Jamal Hamilton.
Very much of a live wire, Jamal Hamilton. Oh, he's looking to flick this one into the onside. And really turned him around. He took the outer portion, took the edge of the bat. And instead of going into the onside, it ran down to Thurman in the air, and he was able to pick up a run. So a fault shot there by 7 for 1. Said Montserrat playing an unchanged team from the team yesterday. Chanel Burns. KB's in, the vice captain. Burns is the captain, of course. There's Joshua Grant, who is out there. Stevel Rodney has departed for another duck. Hayden Walsh Jr., Damian Williams, Jamal Williams, Justin Yewood. Oh, he plays that and misses to it, who was receiving his first delivery and playing that one outside the off stump and missing completely in treatment to the keeper. And just to complete the Montserrat team, Christian Yewood, Zawandi White, Nehemiah Young, Sean Tuitt. And for Anguilla, Dimitri Adams captain, Sean Richardson, he's the vice captain, Yusuf Joseph, Demetrius Adams, the brother of Dimitri Adams, and of course their father, Terry Adams, who would have played for Anguilla for quite some time, and who's also the coach of this team. He's the father of these two youngsters, Jadel Richardson and Andros Bowens, Mark Gokaram, Shamika Landeford, Leon Burton, Oliver Walker, and Jamal Hamilton. As we had one delivery there from Richardson. The vice captain, of course, is Sergeant Richardson. Him. And lucky to get away with that one. And keeping a trifle low. And kept out there by Tuitt. Batsman for the previous delivery would have collected a run. So the Anguillan opening bowler certainly asking some questions of the Montserrat.
Yes, they seem to have a plan because they operated by and large.
And you realize it from his body language that he should not have followed that one. It was very wide of the off stump. Slip, a second slip goes into place now. And mid-wicket comes across into the offside, so it's predominantly an onside field. Just two fielders on the onside, a long leg and a wideish mid-on. So you have two slips, a gully, third man back on the boundary, point, extra cover, mid-off. Oh my goodness. And Tuitt is flashing at a very wide delivery, and it's signaled wide to by umpire Carl Tuckett. Interesting outfit for the umpires. Yesterday they were regaled in black, and today it's a green jersey with some black stripes just around the area. He's defending this time and drops it in front of him and kicks it out. So 10 for watch. Rather anguish cry coming from some of the players, but you know the choice is to pack the offside. And he's a good shot. He's getting his good runs here. Driven up to cover, and he gets 4, so he gets off the mark with a 4. An over pitch delivery on off stump, and it was into it and driving it into the cover boundary for 4. So second boundary coming up there for Montserrat to its first boundary, and Grant the other boundary score. And Rodney was dismissed for no score outside the off stump and through to the keeper. So the over comes to an end. It's 14 for 1.
$14 for 1, Oli Goins went into the 5th over. Long the first ball 2, and 2 by the other opening bowler.
Bright sunny day here at Warner Park, Al. And as the official weatherman for the games, you could probably give us an insight as to what is going to happen.
A lovely day for cricket.
And
Only some serious clouds are around, and they're quite high and distant, and not threatening at all.
Richardson outside the off stump.
We expect to have a full day of undisturbed cricket. The showers came early this morning,
Well, I don't know about
and mostly in
your
the
neck of the woods.
north and the eastern portion of the island.
I know last evening we had some very heavy showers last evening, and we would have had some this morning, but last evening we really had some heavy downpours out there in Alpha Tree, and I suspect in the surrounding areas also.
But we are well into modern times now, and so the wicket must have been well covered to give the groundsman an easier task of preparing it today.
Oh yes,
it looks dry, it looks crisp, and so the covers did their work.
You certainly want to park one of the better grounds in the Caribbean in terms of drainage, driven uppishly, but to the right of extra cover, and Grant is able to pick up a run. So certainly October has brought even more rain than September. He's cutting that one outside the off stump and missing. We know September is normally the month to the peak of the hurricane season, month in which you expect a lot of rainfall also, but this year it has been October that is bringing that rain. We know Melissa, of course, threatening Jamaica hurricane, and we're into October. Oh, this one is going down the onside. I don't know if it might have brushed something. There was no signal from the umpire.
The batsman was looking to the umpire, begging for a wide. The umpire wasn't even looking into his direction, looking in his direction.
Yes, umpire probably thinking it had passed close enough for the batsman to have gotten back onto it. In fact, she would have pointed out something to the batsman, Richardson once more. And this one stayed down to Hamilton, who fields. And you know when he fields a ball, whatever he does it with a lot of flair. And inflict it back to the umpire. So the over comes soon in 15 for 1. Montserrat after being inserted. And we've had just about half an hour play.
Really slow going. After some 7 overs, my correction. 4 from Richardson, 3 from Langleyford, so it's the 8th over. Going at a rate of just a tad over 2 runs per over. Certainly a different approach to yesterday's game, where they were going pell-mell and losing wickets. This time they've only lost one, the wicket of Rodney. But here's Langleyford again. Outside of someone, they're asking, nothing happening. The batsman pulled his bat well within him and allowed it to go through.
I think Al Montserrat would have gone back to the drawing board after their loss yesterday to St. Kitts, and they would have assessed the shortcomings in the match previously, and they probably realized that they had gone too hard too early, and they fell well short in terms of overs and in terms of runs.
Not only too hard too early, but they kept going. Every batsman coming in was looking to play aggressive. I hardly saw an instance where there was sort of damage control and then a reconstruction period. It was just go man go. And so certainly the coach must have pulled them up about that. And so it's a lot more restraint being exhibited here. Only going after the really bad balls, full toss, short ball, and that kind of thing. But other than that, they are stoic in defense.
Montserrat, of course, would have batted 36.3 overs yesterday, which meant that they left some 13.3 overs over there. And as one gentleman mentioned this morning, even if they had batted out those overs, that 2 runs per over, that's what you said, 10.3 overs, that's another 26 runs. Probably, who knows? And I'm pretty certain they would have been able to pick up more than 2 runs per over. So they could have easily gotten close to 200 runs. And based on what took place, they could certainly have found themselves in a position where they could have won that match.
This time he's getting it down to third man. Still outside the half stump from Langleford. 1-1.
Well, he has shown good control. He has been bowling to his field, just two on the hand, long leg and the wideish mid on. And those two fielders, they have not hardly had any work to do. So he's showing good control.
And when he comes closer, he sticks dead on the stump and prevents the batsman from going across the line. I inviting them to go across the line and asking for LBW. Good opening spell from both these bowlers.
Well, of course, if your
none for 11 and none for 5, they score 16 for 1. Sorry, 1 by Richardson, who picked up the wicket of Rodney. And again, the ball is left alone.
So I'm just trying to get some updates. Al Nevis up against Antigua at Connery there, 40 for 1 from 7 overs. Antigua and Barbuda won the toss and inserted Nevis. I'm not seeing anything here.
And drive here at Warner Park. 1-1 to the total.
Yes, I was saying I'm not seeing anything here for the match in St. Paul's as yet, so I don't know if that match is delayed, but I'll get an update on that in a while.
Grant is forcing the umpire to take evasive action and then gets up to signal 4 runs. At that one, straight back past Richardson.
Much better start for Montserrat today. Yes, they have lost a wicket, but they are prepared to stick it out and grind it out for a bit. And although we have seen the batsmen beaten at times, they have really stuck it out.
That's day 2 of the Leeward Islands driving to the offside. We'll get at least 1. They thought of a second one, decided against it. And the score moves on by 1 to 23. 23 for 1. Montserrat batting for to it in terms of catching it. Will not get to it in terms of preventing it from going over the boundary. Umpire Kello Joseph, in characteristic fashion, comes to the side of the pitch and signals 4.
Yes.
First real sign of aggression, chipping down to the medium pacer.
Yes, as you rightly put it, for signs of aggression by Montserrat, up in the tempo bit.
Richardson tries to respond with a bumper. Not well lined, going over the batsman's head. Keeper took it without much ado. End of the over. 9 overs down. The score 22 for 1. Sorry, that should be 26 for 1. Field changed more